הפרויקט הזה נקרא קלוז-אפ, בניצוחה של נועה קופרמן, חברת הוועד של האגודה, וככה קצת הלאה לתוך העניין הזה, אמרנו רגע, אם כבר לא צריך להגיע, אז אפשר להפוך את זה לגלובלי. ובנקודה הזאת העלינו כמה שמות, אחד מהם היה מרסיו, הוא הראשון מבין כמה וכמה שאנחנו מתכננים להביא בשבועות, בחודשים הקרובים, כל עוד אנחנו לא יכולים לא לטוס ולא להשתתף בתערוכות והרצאות. ופניתי למרסיו, שאני מכירה אותו מהתערוכות במילאנו, נפגשנו כמה פעמים, אנחנו שומרים על איזשהו קשר, והוא ללא היסוס מיד הסכים, שלא לומר שמח, וזהו, ומאז אנחנו בהכנות, הם לקחו את זה מאוד ברצינות, הם הכינו מצגת, שינו את השם, הם באמת השקיעו בזה הרבה עבודה, יש להם בסטודיו ארט דירקטור, שכנראה הוא קרלוס, שהוא זה שמתפעל, מטפל, מכין את המצגות, עברנו, בדקנו, היה לנו נורא חשוב לבדוק איזה דילי יש, הם באמת סופר רציניים, ולקחו גם את ההרצאה הזאת ברצינות. זהו, אני בהזדמנות זאת כמובן רוצה גם להודות לנורית קורקט שלנו, יושב ראש האגודה, שמנצחת על כל הפעילויות שלנו, הקטנות והגדולות כאחד, ומאפשרת לנו ונותנת לנו את הדרייב לעשות את כל הדברים היפים האלה שקורים באגודה בשנים האחרונות.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, you?
I'm good. Okay, so in a few words, Studio mk27, that's the official name, the studio that was founded by Marcio Kogan, who finished architecture at 1976. The studio is located in São Paulo, in Brazil, and it is comprised of 30 architects and, of course, other collaborators around the world. The architects of the team are admirers of the Brazilian modernism generation, and all the project placed value on formal simplicity and are elaborated with extreme care and attention to details. The studio had won 250 national and international awards, and we are so happy to have you guys with us, and we're super excited. I see Marcio. Hi. Marcio and Diana. Hi, how are you? Wait, let us unmute you for some reason.
Okay. No, it's okay.
Hola, Marcio. How are you?
Hola. Good.
Hola, Diana. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, and you?
I'm very good, thank you. Yes. Now we can talk about the American election. Last time we were talking about the Israeli election. Remember?
Always a problem.
Always. So we were just presenting the studio, and now we'll present you just in a couple of words, and then we will let you begin. Mr. Kogan was born and raised in the city of São Paulo, graduated from Mackenzie at 1976, worked as a movie director until after he shot his first long feature in 1988, and then bankrupt, had to content himself with being an architect. Lucky for us that he got bankrupt. He's, of course, the author of all projects of the studio. And what else? And we also have Diana, Miss Diana Radomeisler, which is an architect and the coordinator of the interiors and design department of the studio. I want to personally thank you very much for accepting my request and joining us without any hesitation. And we're eager to start. So please, Mr. Marcio Kogan and Ms. Diana Radomeisler, the stage is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Voice print identification. When you see the red light go on, would you please state in the following order: your destination, your nationality, and your full name.
Moon, American, Floyd, Haywood R.
Thank you. You are cleared through voice print identification.
Okay. Our studio is based in São Paulo. We're now almost 40 architects. I think it's a lot, but it was the destiny. And I'd like to say a few words about the city we live. It's 22 million inhabitants. The city, I think, is almost 3 times the state of Israel. Just our city. Huge, impossible to see the end, endless, but with a lot of problems. Chaotic, violent, very crazy. A city that I can say only bad things about. Each inhabitant lives on average 2.43 hours per day. Part of our life inside a car or a bus or a subway. Can you believe it? This is a metro station by the office during the rush hour. The urban equipment and sidewalks, a disaster. This is a very iconic picture. You can see the class disparity. That's very strong. A city with contrast. Now they are trying to increase the green areas. And maybe you can have during a weekend a picnic with your family here. Look the way they located this tactile flooring for blind people. Everything bad, thinking about urbanism. Everything bad about the city. But at the end, we love it. I don't know why, maybe it's something about the strong energy you have here. It's a city who doesn't sleep 24 hours, emitting energy. I'm a completely addicted of the city. This is our office. We have a blackboard. This is a day we clean it. We have some chalks in the facade. And people around, all the neighbors, they love to draw. We have thousands of examples. Some of them incredible. Someone who designed some few Oscar Niemeyer buildings. And this is unbelievable. He's a tattoo artist who works nearby. This is very funny. The hairdresser from across the street wrote his price for everything. This is our office. We're just now the place that you can see me at the back. And I have a huge collection of miniature chairs. And we have a lot of stuff around the office. This is our business cards. Each architect has a different one. This is exactly behind my chair. I have a collection of things, just things that happened in my life. I collected and I showed everything here. We have a garden, at the back, a small garden. We have a place to lunch. This is a day that Liha is serving Brazilian food for some clients. And we have once a week a lunch for everyone in this place, in the office. Okay, now we decided to show 6 projects and the soul of the 6 projects. The first one is Bahia House.
So this house is located in Salvador, Bahia, northeast of Brazil. Salvador was our first capital and is the center of the Afro-Brazilian culture. Roofs of clay are an important characteristic of the colonial architecture brought by the Portuguese. This style is very well represented in Salvador and has become a strong influence for Brazilian architecture from modernism to contemporary. It's an urban house. The site is square with 3 huge mango trees. The northeast coast of Brazil is very famous for the gentle and refreshing breeze that blows from the sea. This was one of our main concerns. So we placed the house to take the most advantage of the natural breeze and the beauty of the mango trees. In this photo, you can see the front view of the house, clearly showing our interpretation of these colonial elements, the soul of this house. These wooden shelters, called muxarabis, offer shade, privacy, and ventilation. It was introduced by the Arabs in Portugal and from Portugal to Brazil. It's called muxarabi by the Arabs and gelosia by the Portuguese. Gelosia means jealousy. It was created originally to protect women from outside world. In this project, they open completely. This is the front view of the house with one of the beautiful mango trees. The internal patio, also a strong element of colonial architecture, creates 8 different facades and helps to integrate all the areas of this house. It also creates the casual atmosphere requested by the clients. For this house, we selected furniture from our best Brazilian designers. These ones are by Carlos Mota. This picture shows a muxarabi mounted on top of glass window used for permanent ventilation. Okay, here you can see the view of the inner patio with the swimming pool. Behind the muxarabi is the corridor that goes to the rooms.
And the mangoes.
And also the mango tree. The use of local and natural materials, also a characteristic of our projects. Here, the ceiling is made with different kinds of woods from demolition sites, stone walls, and a key element of all our designs, sliding glass doors that disappear into the walls, so inside and outside become one, a great covered terrace. A view of the muxarabi closed at night, and the master bedroom with a private patio looking to the natural forest. Now we are going to talk about Studio SEC. It's a 2011 project. The architectural project of the photographic studio SEC, specializing food photos, emerged from a collaborative creative method called charrette, which I think it's a very interesting experience. We split the office into 4 teams. The teams go to separate rooms. We work the full day on the development of different ideas, and in the end of the day, we get together and present them. It's not a competition. There are no winners nor losers. The exercise is critical to define possible directions, where to go, and especially where not to go. The plot is a rectangular and located in an area of mid-sized warehouse. So we decided to revisit the idea of this warehouse, creating a new concept for a different use. I think this project has 2 souls. This is one of them. All the ideas converge to locate the studio along the length of the rectangle, facing a generous garden that functions as an internal esplanade for the building. The side entrance leads to the whole area. You can see here some of the greatest chefs of the world preparing their creations to be photographed. Ferran Adrià, with his famous jabuticaba necklace, his own design in honor of this unique Brazilian fruit. So for this project, we create 2 wooden programmatic boxes where you have the reception, labs, offices, and technical kitchen, connected by a concrete suspended bridge 22 meters long, overlooking to the remaining space that is the photographic studio in itself. The compound was covered by a metallic structure that supports a 46-meter void. On the top floor, in addition to a wooden deck, there is a social kitchen for receptions. Here is a view from the tropical garden, designed by one of our most famous landscaper, Isabel Duprat. The passageway is the main artery of the building. As people walk along from one box to the other, the studio becomes a stage constantly watched by all. In my opinion, the second soul of the project. The boxes can be opaque or transparent, depending on the needs. Color and in the furniture make the contrast with the natural materials of the studio. Later on, the adjacent plot became available and was added to the studio, increasing the garden area and housing a multi-craft workshop. White steel panels with 2 different textures cover the external walls of the building.
The next one, the jungle house. The house is located 2 hours from São Paulo by car. The house is on the border of a condominium and a rainforest. To the left side, there are some few houses and the ocean. The house is 200 meters from the beach. And the soul of this house is the section. The first thing was to move the living room to the upper part of the house, just to have a view of the ocean. And here is maybe a magic of the house. We created, this is the detail, you can see the detail, and you have, here is the facade of the house, and we separated the wooden deck from the facade to create to make the facade a bit lighter. And you can see the swimming pool here. And this, we needed to create some magic to avoid to have a very heavy facade. And inside the living room, we lower the floor to create a lower ceiling mainly on the terrace. Here's the house. Everything is wood. And in this floor, you have all the bedrooms, all the windows can open. It's a musharabi also. And you can see here the wooden deck. Otherwise, you needed to connect both and more the swimming pool, and you have a very heavy facade. This volume is a playroom for the kids and the laundry. Here you have the entrance of the house. We elevated the ground floor 1 meter. You have a staircase to reach it. And the land is very, very humid. And this is the way to disconnect completely from the soil. This is the entrance of the house, a staircase which bought from a vintage spacecraft. This is the entrance. This is art by Olafur Eliasson. Everything concrete, exposed concrete. And you arrive in this floor, and you have another staircase to the living room. Here you can see the difference of the level between the living room and the terrace. And we can open the windows completely, as you do almost in all our projects. We have here a pit fire, a big cantilever, and you have here setback for the handrail made by glass. And this is the back of the house. This is how the house is connected with the forest. This is a view from the top floor. You can see the ocean here because it was a rainy day, difficult to see. And we found that Conde Dracula is living next door in his beach house. This is another project, Somos Águas. This is a condominium located in Madrid, 21 houses. This is in the outskirts of Madrid, not a very good neighborhood. There are houses ranging from 90 to 230 square meters. And one thing that was very, very good, the client let us having the parking lot underneath. Uki created a space between houses where you can walk, kids can play. And this is, I think it's the soul of the project. It's our drone view. All the houses, they have their own patio and a public swimming pool. Some views from the street, pedestrian street. This is inside the house. This is a view for a view to the inner patio. And all houses, they have this kind of electric shades. The client, they created a party for the opening of the condominium, invited all his team and all the owners. During the morning, something interesting happened. I was walking with a photographer, Fernando Guerra, very famous Portuguese photographer. And a guy that was swimming, he called me, Marcio. And I thought, this is a problem. You complain about everything. He left the pool and came to talked with me and said, I love to live in this place. It's not so common to architects to hear. This is the entrance and the crazy guy walking around. This is another project, mk27. It's a furniture and design shop. They have 3 volumes, volume A, B, and C. We designed the B and C. And the C is the newest one. It's a kind of a gallery that shows design in photographs and art. It's one of our first experience using wood structure. And you can see the upper part is polycarbonate, and the lower part is clad in aluminum. And the light through the polycarbonate create incredible shadows inside, a kind of a cinematic vision during the day. This is the diagram of the project, the wood structure. At the middle of the volume, we chose a Noguchi lamp, almost to create some kind of a temple atmosphere. At the end, it was a very Japanese mood that I loved. Jean Prouvé chair with the owner's log, Salvador Dali chair. We detail a lot the project, this structure. And you have the lighting all recessed inside the structure, illuminating the structure. During the night, it's turns in a Japanese lantern.
The last project of day is House on the Sand. It's a project from 2019, a project that I love. This house is also located in Bahia, near a very charming and colorful colonial village called Trancoso. 5 volumes rest upon an elongated wooden deck, slightly raised above the ground, also to prevent humidity. The entire structure is covered by a rustic eucalyptus pergola, supported by 14 laminated wooden frames. This modernist geometrical structure is broken by several trees existing in the plot, allowing the entrance of direct sunlight into the spaces. The house is immersed within the tropical woods that lead to the stunning beach of Itapororoca. Confined spaces are reduced to only the essential living areas that are condensed into 5 separate volumes: kitchen, dining room, living room and master bedroom, and another 2 for the guest rooms. The light of a sunny or rainy day is filtered by the eucalyptus sticks, casting an ever-changing shade throughout the day. Here you can see these 4 loop chairs designed by Widigu, a Switzerland designer in the 60s, with a Bahia twist. Most of the ceramics, artworks, and furniture were from the client's collection. The dining tables were from a French Riviera restaurant, and all fixed furniture was designed by the studio. Here is the entrance of the house through a beautiful garden too, tropical garden. You can see the shades, detail from the deck embracing the concrete boxes. The swimming pool is separated from the main structure and closer to the beach. This house offers itself as a sensorial machine in which nature, light, shadows, and the constant and infinite sound of the ocean become the soul of the project.
Thank you very much. So we'll start with a couple of questions. Whoever has another question can write it down in the chat. Okay, Tamar, go ahead, ask your question, please.
I'm very much fascinated by the extreme difference and the extreme gap between the super crisp and minimalist work and the cheerful and colorful life of the office, with all these beautiful creatures that you have and the humor that you use so beautifully in your work. Can you say something about that?
Our work is a kind of a minimalism with the opposite of the minimalism. We like very much to create projects minimalist, but not to be minimalist. We don't like minimalism. We create it for the client, create his life over it. And you have the same example here. We're in our office now. You can see what happened here. Everything, a huge mess. A little bit organized, but it is.
So I will go back to questions from the crowd that were in the chat, okay? So one by Merav, thank you very much for your willingness to share your thoughts and work. Your projects are very inspiring and beautiful. One of the first slides you presented emphasized the polarity of the socioeconomic of São Paulo. Do you address such social issues in your work?
Of course. Sometimes the funny thing is when I graduated, I'd like to work with social housing. And I studied social housing. But the destiny changed for luxury houses and luxury hotels and things like this. Of course, I like it because we're very crazy with details, and it was opportunity to design something high-end. But at the beginning, I wanted to design social housing, but it was impossible. All the projects that you have here are very bad. There is one or two exceptions. And sometimes we work with design now some parks, some inside the favelas, and always are doing some kind of work like this. And there is a problem. There is no public projects or public competition for public projects. That it's an opportunity to do this kind of thing here, but it's very rare. They don't like the politicians. They don't like to have an architect in the middle of the corruption, and that's very strong. We try a lot of projects, and always there are problems.
But we do some pro bono projects that we think are interesting. We did something for the Ayrton Senna Foundation that has a very important educational program. So we did their main office pro bono. So when there is something that we can help and we believe in, we are into.
Okay, you have a lot of these projects, but not enough.
Not enough.
Okay, let's go to Alon's Cohen's question. He actually has two questions. One is We would like to know what are the key principles in your works and design that follows in every project. And the second question is, how do you drain the heavy Brazilian rainfall, architecturally wise?
Okay, this is a long career that you change a lot, and created a kind of a language. We follow some things for some design, very, very simple and clean. I usually say that we begin a project with 10,000 lines, and at the end we have 100. And I have a huge influence from movies that I worked in the beginning of my career. And one moment I could mix movie and architecture. We can say the way I see how is a project. The project is a script, it's a screenplay. I imagine that I'm character of film. Sometimes I am a girl or an old man living in this place that we are creating. There is a story, a story about this. And this is very interesting. Sometimes I'm inside the project, I'm going to sleep. I don't like the position of the bed. I push the bed for the best place. And the window is not in a good position. I move the window and everything lives in the place. This is completely cinematic. And the wide screen, during the time, our project became more with long proportions, wider. This is an architectural view, like watching a viewfinder of a camera. And another thing, it was the light. The light, it's magic. The natural light, the artificial light. When I was filming, the place was terrible. When the photographic director turned on the lights, there is a magic happens. And the last thing that's very important as well is the teamwork. The structure of the office used to be the boss sketching all the day with a lot of people just helping him. And we began a kind of a collaborative work in our office. We have a lot of co-authors of the projects. This way we work, and we learn a lot about this. When you hire someone, we hire someone then who can how to say, put some more elements in the quality of the office of the project will increase. Okay, and the rain.
Yeah.
You see, in the last project, this house in Bahia, if you want to go from the kitchen to the bedroom and it's raining, you need to take an umbrella to do it.
But the strong rain, doesn't it ruin the pergola there? It's so thin.
No, everything is well done. Okay, we're prepared. And the weather in Brazil is not so bad. We had projects in Florida that you have a hurricane there, and in LA that you have earthquake. Here, nothing happened.
Okay.
It could be a paradise if you kill our president.
Okay. So David asked, what is the story with the puppet? Your logotype puppet.
Do puppet, da bonequinha.
Ah, como é que você surgiu isso? Foi com quem trouxe?
Eu comprei numa loja de antiguidade.
So Marcio one day went to an antique shop, and found this doll. Thought it was very cute and bought it. Brought it to the office, and his son that was working here at this time saw that our, como se fala placas?
Boards.
Our board, you know, when you put your name in the plot where you're doing a project, that they were very
board.
Thank you, Carlinhos. Our construction boards were very raw. So he decided to put the doll, to design the doll in these construction boards. And it became a huge success. All the kids, everybody was talking about that. And so this doll grew into our lives and took care of the space. And so now it's everywhere, in our cards, business cards, in our boards, in our presentations. And she gets different characters depending on the client or on where we are doing a speech. So
like a diagram, the eyes are moving.
Yes, the eyes move. See, you can see Carlinhos is showing you.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of fun in architecture.
Cool. One more question, if it's okay. In your point of view, how do you see future architecture in the sense of dwelling and living, relating global trends and the issue? Wow, that's a big question. What is your take on the matter?
I don't think we will have radical changes. A house is a home is a home. For me, it's like the car. You used to have a car from the beginning of the last century. Maybe now it's almost the same. You have a lot of technology inside, and it's the same principles. Now with the pandemic, I think some small things will change. All the clients, they are asking for an office to work from home. And a lot of people are thinking again to have houses, because in São Paulo, people wanted to live in apartment buildings because it is safer. And now, after the lockdown, they want to have bigger spaces with garden, place that you can have sun. And I think this is minor changes.
Okay. Dolphy is asking if the lighting design is done by the studio or by consultant.
No,
Both.
Both, yeah. We think light is very important. Light is architecture. So we designed the most important, where do we want the light and the effect of the light, but we have a consultant that specify the lamps.
I think now the majority of the project we have consultants.
But the original project of the light is it comes from our office.
Yeah, we love indirect lighting. We don't like when you have a lot of stuff over your head. This is completely forbidden here.
I would also like to ask a question. How do you deal with all the nature around, the jungles you're building in? How much do you touch? How much do you keep? How do you get the tractors inside the jungle when you're building without hurting the environment around?
If you see our houses, mainly in Brazil, the inside-outside connection, it's very, very strong. You see in all projects, you open completely the windows, and you don't know where the interior finished and begin the architecture or the opposite. And this is one of the reasons that we began to design the interiors. It's happened only maybe 10, 12 years ago, because we like very much the idea of the interior and the architecture be exactly the same. This is the same place, the same thing.
In one of the houses, the jungle house that you saw, we damaged a little bit the least possible damage possible, but in the end, we reconstruct the forest to bring it back.
Yeah,
Yes.
mainly this case that you have to rebuild the forest. But when it's in São Paulo, okay, it's a new landscape and you have a lot of trees. It depends on where is it.
But we always reconstruct the nature. We always try to reconstruct the nature.
Yeah, mainly in, the jungle house is a good example.
Yes.
You don't know that where we touch it.
It seemed that it always was there.
We try
When
to
you look at it now, the garden, it seemed that you didn't touch anything.
Okay, the landscape designer was specialized in this kind of tropical garden.
Great.
And the work is very, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, one last question, I think. Abed is asking about the construction, the foundations of the building. I guess the shop that you showed us, the gallery. How do you treat the foundation or the construction versus the design? How does it come together?
Now, in this case, 100% come together. We design the structure with the engineer. And it's a very good mix of designing with engineering. We did all the details, everything that's there is a function.
I see. Okay, we want to thank you so much for your time, for the beautiful project that you've shown us, and for the inspiration that you've given us. I think I'm speaking on behalf of everyone when I'm saying it was super interesting and very exciting for us. We want to wish you great luck. We'll keep on seeing all your projects in Arc Daily and the zine and everywhere, picking up the trophies. And that's it. Good luck. And thank you everyone for joining us. And hope to see you maybe next year in Milan.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now, just saying that it was a pleasure to show our projects to Israel.
Yeah, we're all great fans. And looking forward to seeing you here. You promised you'd come. Diana, you're coming anyway, right?
I would love to.
After Corona, okay.
Wait
Okay.
for me.
We are.
She has family.
Yeah,
in
we
Tel Aviv.
all have family in Israel.
We're going to take you to show you around. Like Carlos promised he would take us when we come to visit you guys.
Yeah, I will show you the São Paulo, the fun part of São Paulo.
The light side of São Paulo.
Yeah. The side B of São Paulo.
Great. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Carlos,
Thank you so much.
for all the help. And looking forward to hearing from you guys and seeing you whenever the sky will be open.
Bye-bye.
Hope to see you soon.
Bye. Thank you, Paul.
Bye.